All right, guys, so in this video, we're going to go over navigating maps. So the ins and outs of Google Maps, why it's so important for a local business to be listed on the maps. It's so powerful, and they have an amazing tool and platform here. Google Maps is used by everybody. So and if they're not on Google Maps, we're talking about Apple Maps because they're kind of hand in hand. They are separate platforms, but we do very similar things on separate ones. In this video, I'm only going to talk about Google, but let's just dive in because it's super important, and I love the maps. They're so important. So on our journey here, we've got all the 9 steps. We're just on number 3 right now. So this video is going to be kind of short. And hopefully it will be just around 10 minutes, but we're going to navigate maps. We're going to go from unclear to optimized and really know the ins and outs of Google Maps and business listings and how to do the very basics of getting listed on these places so that when you're qualified, you're a trustworthy, authoritative site, you're basically going to hit that first page over time, and then you qualify to be in that top 3, that snack pack, we call it. So important. Let's dive in. So how to rank in the maps. So these are some key things that we're going to talk about. Google My Business verified. So you want to go out, make sure that you're on the maps. If you're not verified, it's going to say claim this business, and if you have no idea who claimed your business or something, that's something you're going to have to reach out to a pro or Google and have them figure it out with you. It can be a lengthy process. It's a huge pain in the butt, but it's something we have to do all the time. So we've kind of got a process built in here. So Google My Business verification, super important. Google My Business optimization is something we're going to go on to talk about. Most people don't talk about this, so there's a ton in there. We're not going to go crazy super nerd on you today, but this is going to give you a basic understanding of things that should be done to optimize on Google Maps. I'm going to say Google Maps. I'm also going to say Google My Business. Google Maps is the front-facing tool that everybody uses, and on their phone and on their computers, and then Google My Business is kind of the back end. It's where you go and set up your business account so that you can filter through information, you can check your reviews, you can set your hours, all that different kind of stuff. Business listings, these are things, they're also called citations. I'm not sure what the technical term is. We call them both, and it doesn't really matter. But basically there's ways to do it yourself. There's ways to hire professionals to do it. But basically, these are super important. Basically, they back up Google and let Google know that the data that's on Google Maps is accurate because it's listed across all these other websites. Very important. So then we're going to talk about the organic first page ranking and why you need that to qualify as a trustworthy, authoritative site to rank in the maps. So we want to get a top 3 ranking in the maps so that we can be listed on the front page of Google in their little maps section. We call it that snack pack these days, and it's getting smaller and smaller. It used to be 7 positions, now it's just 3. Who knows what it'll be in 2 weeks? It could be 1. There's always updates coming out. So we want to be the best possible company for that. We want to have our reviews and everything, blah blah blah. Let's dive in. So why get listed, verified, and ranked in the maps? Why is that important? To control your business info. So basically, if you go onto Google Maps and you have a Google account, and you could just go to the restaurant that you're sitting at or pull them up, and if they're not claimed or verified, and even if they are claimed and verified, you can tell Google that the information is wrong. You can say, this place is closed down. Can you imagine if that happened to you and somebody was like, this place is closed down? If you have an account and you're verified and listed, you'll get a notification saying that people are saying this is closed down, and you can deny it. Or people are trying to change your hours because Google doesn't have a way of a human that's set up with a direct contact to the owner of the business to verify this information. So they use the public to kind of source their data. So getting verified is so, so important that you get these notifications from Google My Business. You can get the app on your phone, and I get a notification every time. I probably have 50 different locations that I'm servicing at any given time, and I know when a review comes in. That way, if somebody gets a 3 or below star review, I can hit them up and say, hey, please respond to this in a polite way. It's just, there's so many different things, reason why it's important. Let's keep going. I'll talk forever if I don't keep going. Google My Business has an amazing back end, and they have a whole section called Insights. This is basically Google Maps version of analytics. So you know how people are finding you. You can go in there and look at how many calls you're getting per hour. You can go into days. You can zoom out to 90 days. Now, there only is 90 days of worth of information on there, and it's always being refreshed. So every day that 90 days creeps up with you as you go down the calendar. But you can look at calls. You can look at direction requests. You can look at visits to your website, photo views. All these are super important. So if you have a local company and you have a shop, you can know that, oh, I got 55 walk-ins this month that resulted in sales because of directions request. Or, holy crap, we got 75 calls this month, which resulted in, $100,000 in revenue, or whatever it is. Or we get more people calling straight from Maps than actually visiting our website and calling. That happens all the time these days. Photo views, we can go in and Insights will show you that your competitors have 10 pictures, and they'll suggest that you put up 30. Because if you can get a better user experience off Google Maps and people can flip through, everybody's anxious these days. Everybody's scared to go in places. So that's just the way we're breeding people these days. So if you can get that user experience, so put up videos, put up photos, of your team, so they know what the process is like when you walk in the store. They're not, shell shocked when they walk into something. It's going to be amazing, especially if you're like in an industry where people are scared. Like dental is extremely important. You can get way more calls if you just put up a video explaining how the process and how things work, and that you take care of people, and that you've got friendly people at your office, and it's not some creepy old man with a knife, trying to hack people's teeth out or something. I don't know why I came up with that. Anyway, there's also a section inside of Insights that will kind of give you a pie graph, and it will say in the last 30 days or 60 or 90 days, when we're done working with it, usually it's keyword traffic. 97% of people found your business by searching for pizza or attorney or something near them or in their area, versus branded traffic, versus people searching for, I don't even know, I don't even want to say a brand name, Joe Schmo Auto Body, branded versus service traffic or keyword traffic is, I hope that kind of made sense. That's super important, because you can look at one pie graph and say, holy crap, 97% of the people that are finding us right now didn't know we existed, or didn't know our brand name before they found us. So when you're done with a campaign, or as you're working through a campaign, you want to see more people finding you than revisiting you, because new customers are how you grow your business, and retaining customers how you keep your business alive, right? So double your leads. So this is kind of crazy, and it's kind of surprising to us in the last probably year. We've noticed because Google Maps has become extremely important, and this Insights platform is kind of new. When I say new, I mean probably a couple of years, but anyway, so most of the business we are working with on a local platform or a local service area, they get more leads from their maps, like more phone calls, maps requests, emails, those types of things, than they actually do from the people that visit their website. So you'll be able to look at Insights and say, okay, we got 55 calls and only 20 people visit our website. So you can see that people are calling more from the maps or contacting you, however. Anyway, super important to also monitor your reviews. you have a chance to respond. Now, we'll probably do a separate video all about the ethics of that and how to do it respectfully, because only certain people leave bad reviews, right? And those are the type of people that you have to deal with. I don't want to get in detail, but you know what I'm talking about. There's people that are just unhappy with the world, and those are the type of people that leave terrible reviews. So, and these days it's really easy for them to voice their opinion. And oftentimes when people have an amazing experience, they forget to go leave a review. So you'll probably hear a lot of bad versus a lot of good. So you want to do the best you can at monitoring those reviews. When they come in, split second, you get a notification from your Google My Business app, and you can take that day and work with your team or your agency, whatever, to come up with an I'm sorry or a try to make up. You don't want to obviously defend yourself in the reviews, because that kind of looks iffy. But anyway, there's whole ethics we can talk about and strategies we can talk about in a separate video. But Google My Business gives you an amazing way of monitoring those reviews that come in. So let's talk a little bit about the optimization. Now, this is stuff that a lot of people don't talk about, and if you're not a nerd like me or our whole team, you probably haven't even thought about this stuff. So GMB is how we always abbreviate Google My Business. So stick with me here. I went from Google Maps to Google My Business to GMB, but GMB is that whole platform. So optimization, how do we do this? So it starts with the business name. Now, with your business name, you have an opportunity per location to do certain things to help Google understand that your business is associated with this service. So oftentimes something that we do as a marketing advertising agency and SEO specific agency, if you look at say our Portland listing, or even where our Grants Pass listing, where we're headquartered, you'll see Moving Mountains, Grants Pass SEO. Now, that's not something that you want to do every single time. It is a strategy that works really, really well, because you'll see as you start to do some more research and as we get into detail here, that people, if you can get that keyword if you can get your keyword in places, it makes it that much easier for Google's bots to understand what's going on, because they are just computers, right? They're going out saying, is it this? Nope. Is it this? Yes. Okay. And they report that back. That's how it works. So your business name, you want to make sure that your business name is accurate. If it's just a simple branded, like your name, and it has nothing to do with the service, then we need to take all the necessary steps so that you can compete against somebody that would be, say, so if Portland SEO is my keyword, if their company was called Portland SEO Pros, which is one of our buddies, then they're going to have an easier time optimizing versus just Moving Mountains. Because what is Moving Mountains? It could be anything, right? There's Moving Mountains resorts, and there's Moving Mountains. There's an Usher song called Moving Mountains, which, oh geez, that's a different story. Anyway, physical location versus service area. So there's two different things you can do on Google Maps. You can set your address, your physical address, and people can visit your store front. Or you can set a service area. So when you're setting up, you're optimizing or verifying, you're verifying your maps listing, you'll get a little postcard in the mail. It's a whole process that we can talk about, but it's pretty simple. You can set up a service area. So you can say, I service anyone, or I'll drive to anyone in this 100-mile radius or 10-mile radius, whatever you set it as. Or a physical location. So, either way, you have to verify that you do own a business in that area, or you have a physical location. A long time ago, you used to be able to use a PO box, but Google has weeded out all of those things so that people can't kind of game the system. You can't game the system these days. So you want to do the best possible thing. Anyway, service category. So if you're a roofer, there's going to be roofing contractor or general contractor, and then you can get specific as the type of roofer or whatever. What you want to do here is go and look at your keyword, Google it, look at the maps, and see what the top rated category, or the top rated people, the category they use. It'll say right under their name what category they are, and honestly, that's the best way we found to pick a category and make sure that Google associates you with those people right off the bat. Hours. Please make sure you have the correct hours on here. It's so important. I call people all the time on Google Maps and they have the wrong hours. So Google gives you, if you have a verified listing and you have that Google My Business app, you can update hours on holidays. Google even has notifications on Google Maps when it's a holiday in your area or whatever country you're in. They can say, it's Easter here, and oftentimes people are closed on Easter. I don't know, something like that. Good example. Photos and videos. So we want to get, how deep should I go here? So we want to get images of your business and videos that are relative to or very, very closely related to the service that you're providing. This is a kind of a double opportunity, as I talked about earlier, or maybe that was the last video. I don't know, I've been rambling for hours now. You want to get photos of your business, the people in your business doing the things, and you want to name them correctly so that Google can come look at this image and say, oh, yep, that's a roofer, or that's a plumber, or that's a chiropractor, or that's a dentist, or that's an artist. I don't know. And that's an opportunity as well for you to make a good user experience for people so they trust you. Also in the photos and videos, you want to have more than your competition. Google will tell you straight up after a couple weeks or something that most of your competition has 7 photos. You have 15. Just double what they're doing, unless it's like 100. Don't go crazy. But and there's even some more in-depth techniques that we'll talk about in a little bit. We probably won't go into this video with like different tagging of locations and stuff so that Google knows that the pictures taken were in a specific area that you service. Reviews. Make sure that you've got reviews, because when you show up in Google Maps, your competitors are going to have reviews. We always want to have, kind of our strategy is to have 10 or so more reviews than the competitors. So if you go and see 5 reviews, reach out to as many people as you can. We've got systems in place that we can help you with that. If you need, reach out to us. We have a guy in-house that's developed an amazing strategy where he got over 100 reviews for one of our clients in a single month just by reaching out to the previous customers. And that's just on Google Maps. So reviews are super important. If you come across a Maps listing that has like 267 5-star reviews, just know that it's going to take time. It's a process, and make sure that you have those previous clients that you can reach out to. And there's a strategy there as well. I think that wraps up that slide. Nope. Oh, duplicate listings. So if you go on Google Maps and you type in your brand name in any different variation of how it was listed or it is, or you maybe had an old address and then you created a new listing, you want to make sure, and this is a whole process as well, and it's going to take you contacting Google or using a pro like us to take care of that process. So remove duplicate listings, merge them, delete them. Oftentimes if you just delete them, Google will recreate them because there's some information out there on the internet that is telling Google that listing should be live. So you have to work with Google, you have to work with a pro. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes 5 minutes. It's one of the most frustrating things, and it's like almost impossible to automate right now. So maybe there's some software that we can create down the road. I don't know. But super, super important, because if you have duplicate listings with different information, Google's just basically going to say, okay, they don't know what they're doing. We're just not going to list them, which is detrimental because of all the benefits that Google My Business, Google Maps have for a local business like yours. So business listings and citations, they're the same thing. We use both names, but basically there used to be the phone book. There still is the phone book, but who uses that? Honestly. Now there are things like Yelp and Yellow Pages Online and Dex and all these different sites that are basically business directories. And Google goes and scans those and makes sure that all the information on there matches what's on your website and matches what's on your Google Maps. So let's talk a little bit about that process. These are super, super important. Oftentimes you want to build, 50 to 100 of these, and there's certain sites that are niche specific to your industry. So how do you do business listings? What is a business listing? I kind of just talked about that, so I don't want to go too much into it. But the most important thing is for you to pick an exact NAP or NAP, as we call them, and stick to it. What that means is your business name, your address, and your phone number, your NAP, are your name, address, and phone number are identical across every platform. So you're going to go into Google My Business, Google Maps, and get verified. The way you set up that address and your business name is you should take a picture of that. You should put it in with your birth certificate, because wherever you save that, because it is so important. And if you have it a little bit different, you're messing with computers here. So if it's different, then Google's going to assume it's a different location, or if it's a different business. Right now I'm working with many companies to fix this, but one that is top of mind is a financial services, financial advisor. They've got 3 locations right now. They're moving to 6, and some of their locations have their brand name split into 2 words. Some of them have wealth management, some of them have financial advisor. So we're going in and cleaning up all of those, and then we have to clean up all the citations and business listings for all those as well. So you want to make sure that when you get verified, you know exactly how you set that up. Your name, address, and phone number. You put it identical to that on the website that's specific, or the page specific to that location. So Google My Business, website, and all your business listings. Can't really go too far into detail there because there's a ton going on, but and we could talk on it for 4 hours, honestly. So the next step is, do you do this process manually or do you outsource it? So most of the times you can get away with outsourcing it, and it might cost you a few $100 if you hire someone cheap. It might cost you $1,000 if you hire a pro. And a lot of times people don't want to do just this because there's so many different elements to SEO that you probably want a pro to handle all of it. So yes, you can go out there and find, a top list of citations for attorneys and go out and create those, but it's probably going to take you weeks, honestly, if you just sat down in your spare time and did it. It's crazy. It's a nightmare process. Anyway, keywords, name, address, and phone number, images, and videos. So these are all things that you want to have listed or put onto your business listings. So you're going to put these on your Google My Business, and then you're also going to put them on your Yelp page and your Yext page, your Dex page, and your city source. I don't know. There's a ton of them. And probably as a giveaway here or something, we'll give you a list of citations, but don't count on me for that because it's probably just going to overcomplicate things. It gets pretty in-depth. So next is ranking in the top 3 of the maps. So right here is a little black and white version of what you'd see if you were searching for a plumbing, this is HVAC, HVAC contractor or air conditioning repair company in, I don't even know where this is at. I don't remember where we took the screenshot. Anyway, in your area, if you Google something, you're going to more than likely see this top 3 or this 3-pack. So how do we get into that 3-pack, which is where all the action happens, those phone calls happen. You've got that 3-pack, and then you've got the organic listings. So organic listings pull a certain type of people, and they pull a ton of traffic to your website. And then there's a ton of people that just will, contact you and straight through those maps. So ranking in those top 3 is extremely important. So how do you do it? You need to get verified. You need to get your Google My Business verified. You need to do all the optimization we talked about. Now, we talked about most of it. There's a ton more that goes super nerd. If all the stuff we talked about doesn't work, then contact us. There's some extra steps you can take to outrank your competitors is basically how I should say that. Make sure your business listings are done. You've got that name, address, and phone number, and your keywords, and your geotagged images is something I'm going to kind of mention right now, but that's a little more in depth. And you want to make sure that you have that first page ranking. So getting your site trustworthy and authoritative enough to get over all the hurdles that it takes to get onto the first page. And then basically you're now super qualified to rank in the top 3. If everybody on the first page of Google is doing their their listings correctly, then it's going to be a lot harder to get into those map positions. So you just need to do everything right every single time. And that's why SEO gets so complicated, because they change the rules all the time. So hacks, I kind of mentioned this a little bit. Geotagged images. I'm not going to dive into this because it's a whole nother thing, but basically you can set up and embed data into your images that will tell Google that an image is associated with an area that you service. That's all I'm going to say. It's super important. There are tools out there. Google it, figure it out. There's also custom maps. My Maps is a thing by Google. I'm telling you some in-depth stuff here. So there, you can go and create maps, and then you can have them embedded just like YouTube videos. Super valuable. That's pretty much going to cover this video. Like always, let me know if you have any questions, and you know where to contact us. Hit us up on our chat on the website, social media, any of the places, or on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, preferably just our website though, so that we're not having to chase down everything. So hit me up. Next video is coming soon. I hope this was super informational for you guys. Talk soon, guys. Thanks.